Hi guys and welcome to Prevision Week 22. Sorry that I sound like shit, I actually feel like shit, but I'm sure we can get through this video with your help. So let's start with the lunchtime kickoff tomorrow, which is West Ham versus Arsenal. You know, West Ham have been on quite a good run lately. They've got quite a few good players as well that could, worry Arsenal's defence. We know how, crap Arsenal are at the back. Vulnerable they are. West Ham ain't that great at the back either. So I was umming and ahhing between 1-1 or a 2-1 victory to Arsenal. And I've gone for the 2-1 victory to Arsenal because even though West Ham can cause us problems and we are very vulnerable at the back, you just like to think, I'd like to think that Arsenal had the better players and obviously the better strikers in Lacazette and Aubameyang to see us through and get us 3 points for this game. So I'm looking forward to this one, but I'm going to go West Ham 1, Arsenal 2, and also we come up against Sami Nasri as well, who used to play for Arsenal, and I think he hates Arsenal a little bit. So we'll have to give him the booze tomorrow, won't we? So hopefully we can win 2-1 tomorrow and make Sami Nasri's life a misery. So we go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs now, and we have Burnley versus Fulham. Two teams that are struggling at the moment. Two teams that are looking for points. Again, I've spoken about these kind of games before, where it's going to be stuck in midfield. And for this game, I'm going to go Burnley 0, Fulham 0. As I said, I've spoken about these games before, like teams that are fighting down the bottom. And there's been so many times that there's been like crazy results, or sometimes there's been a sending off, or fighting on the pitch and this, that, the other. Or sometimes you can just get the the boring 0-0s. And again, I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but I'm going to go for the boring 0-0. I'm not saying that the game's going to be boring. I'm not disrespecting the two teams, but sometimes you're down the bottom for a reason. It might be that you're lacking. A bit like Arsenal. The reason why Arsenal are not in the top 4 or they're not challenging for a title is because you're lacking that centre back, or you're lacking that striker. And I feel what Burnley are lacking is a really, really top centre back and a really, really top striker, and the same for Fulham. So I feel that both teams are fairly good. I know they're down the bottom, but they've got some really good players in there. But I think they're just that one player out from taking these kind of games by the scruff of the neck. So that's why I've gone for this 0-0. The next one, however, which is Crystal Palace versus Watford, I've gone for the complete opposite. I've gone for a really, really lively game in this one. I know Crystal Palace are down the bottom, but I think they're about 14th, 15th now, and Watford at 8th. And it is at Crystal Palace, and I'm going to go for a really, really lively, good game for this one. Well, I hope it is going to be anyway. I've gone for Crystal Palace 3, Watford 2. I think it's going to be one of them crazy games, where Gillette Soccer, saying, "Oh, there's been another goal at Selhurst Park," this, that, the other. So I think, I hope, as I say, it's going to be a really, really good, lively game. Because, as I say, again, Crystal Palace are not a bad side. I know they're down the bottom, but you feel like if they could just get that one player, again, if you feel like, again, Crystal Palace, they're just missing that one player, and they could be in the top 10, because they're not a bad side. Whenever I watch Crystal Palace play, like they played against Arsenal, they beat Manchester City. They're not a bad side, Crystal Palace. So you just feel, again, they're just that 1 or 2 players short from getting out of that relegation and start challenging a little bit. So for that game, 3-2. Cardiff versus Huddersfield next. Again, two teams that are wanting 3 points. So for this one, I'm going to go Cardiff 1, Huddersfield 1. Brighton versus Liverpool. Obviously, we all watched, I presume most of you watched, the Manchester City Liverpool game. Really, really good game. Thought Liverpool were a little bit unfortunate not to get something out of that game, actually. They looked a little bit bang average for the first 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes. But then they livened up a little bit. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh there. Maybe the first 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, but maybe the first 10 minutes. And then they really, really livened up, and it turned out to be a really, really good game. So I always say, obviously Liverpool lost in the end, but I always say I like to see how you bounce back. And, I think Liverpool against Brighton, I think it'll be fairly comfortable for Liverpool, but obviously there'll be caution because obviously you've seen like in the Man U game where Alisson, I think his name is, their goalkeeper, he made a mistake, and I think there was a mistake against the Manchester City game. So you start to question yourself a little bit. Is that there is mistakes in this team? So you've always got to be a little bit cautious about that. But I do feel that Liverpool will win this game quite comfortably. And after they beat Brighton, they can go on another winning run. And I think I speak for everyone here that I think we all want Liverpool to win the Barclays Premier League anyway. I think it's the time now. I think they had a really good team when Suarez was there. That was a good opportunity, but I don't think they're going to get a much better opportunity now with Jurgen Klopp in charge. With Van Dijk at the back, they've got themselves a really good centre back and a really good goalkeeper. A fantastic attacking force as well in Mane and Salah and Firmino as well. So if Liverpool can't win the title with these players, you have to start saying, I don't know when they could. So I think this could actually be Liverpool's year, and I hope it is. But for the game, I want to go Brighton 1, Liverpool 3. Let's hope Liverpool can get back to winning ways and keep at the top of the table. Leicester versus Southampton. Again, I know Leicester are down the bottom, and I know Leicester are 7th in the table. But again, I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Leicester. I think we've seen that Southampton can be a fighting side. So for that, I'm going to go Leicester 1, Southampton 1. Chelsea versus Newcastle. We all watched the game against Tottenham. Well, according to my Twitter feed, we all watched the game against Chelsea, Tottenham anyway. And I thought Chelsea were the better side. Chelsea, of all teams, they're lacking a striker because they actually created more chances than Tottenham in that Carabao Cup, but there just was no one there to finish the chances off. Hazard did most of the work. So again, you just feel that they're a striker short from from competing for the title. So again, Newcastle won't be an easy game, but I think Chelsea can win. And again, I think because Newcastle haven't really got a good centre back or haven't really got a good striker, I think Chelsea will win by 2 goals. I'm going to go Chelsea 2, Newcastle 0. And I think it probably will be Eden Hazard as well. I think he's their best player, and he's the one that gets them out. He's the one that gets them out of jail. So Chelsea 2, Newcastle 0. But I do think Chelsea in this January transfer window, if not maybe even in the summer, because you've probably all admitted that Liverpool and Manchester City are the two that are competing for the title this year. Maybe even Tottenham as well could be in there as well. So I think the teams like Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal, they're more probably concentrating on the FA Cup and concentrating on the summer transfer window rather than this one. So I think in the summer rather than January, Chelsea need to go out and buy themselves a really good striker to get themselves back into the title hunt. Sunday we have that was a 5:30 kickoff as well on Saturday against Chelsea Newcastle. Sunday kickoff 2:15. We have Everton versus Bournemouth. Again, this is going to be a tight, tough game. Two teams that like to attack. But I'm going to go for Everton because they're the home side. So I'm going to go Everton 2, Bournemouth 1. At 4:30, again, this is going to be interesting. Right, Tottenham versus Manchester United. Right, everyone's talking about this new transformation of Manchester United. Right. I think that they would have won those games with Jose Mourinho. The only thing that's different, okay, is the way that Manchester United are playing. They're playing with confidence. Even if they were winning games under Jose Mourinho, there wasn't really the confidence there. So that's one thing that's changed. But this is the real test against Tottenham. This is the real test, and I was somewhere in Arin. Between 1-1 and 2-1. I'm not going to tell you to who yet, but I was and ahhing between 1-1 and 2-1. And the only reason I was and ahhing between 1-1 is because Tottenham played obviously in the Carabao Cup against Chelsea on Wednesday. And they pretty much played their first team against Chelsea. So is that going to come into play? I don't know. this is a real test for Manchester United because everyone's, as I say, everyone's talking about, oh, they've changed, you know, this, that, the other. But in the end, I did come up with a scenario. I did come up with my scoreline, and I'm going to go Tottenham 2, Manchester United 1. Right. I know that I just said that Manchester United have been playing with confidence, and I know that I said that Tottenham played pretty much with their first team against Chelsea, but I still think that Tottenham are going to be too strong for Manchester United. Well, I say too strong, I've only gone 2-1, but I still think that they're in a much better position, a much better confidence than Manchester United. So I'm just going to go Spurs 2, Manchester United 1. But it was really hard predicting this game, and it's not to say that I'm going to be right. So I'm going to be really interested to watch this game on Sunday. Monday Night Football, we have Manchester City versus Wolves. We all saw the scoreline against Burton Albion. I thought that was really disrespectful, actually. Not to Burton Albion, but I thought that was really disrespectful to Manchester City's reserves. You know, Burton Albion are a League One side, and the first leg was at the Etihad. And you've got the likes of De Bruyne in there. Okay, maybe you played him because of fitness. I don't know. Walker was in there. Sane was in there. Who else was in there? David Silva was in there. Mahrez was in there. You know, playing these players against Burton Albion in a league against the League One side at home is pretty much telling your academy player, I don't think you're good enough to beat Burton Albion. I think that was really disrespectful from Pep Guardiola. I really do. Some people in the comment section below might disagree with me, might call me a stupid twat, but I don't know. But it is my opinion, and if you do call me a stupid twat, you'll be blocked. It is my opinion. I wouldn't call you that for having your opinion, but why do you need to have such a strong side out against Burton Albion? I mean, if it was Burton Albion against Arsenal, do you think I'd be sitting there playing Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ramsey? No, I'd be playing. I wouldn't say my kids, but I'd definitely be playing my reserves. You know, so I don't know. I can't get my head around that one. However, Manchester City versus Wolves. Wolves have really impressed me this year, and I think they should be higher up the table than where they actually are. I think they sit 9th in the table at the moment. I think they should be a lot higher than that. And I'm going to give a result to Wolves in this game. I think they've got a very good tactical manager, and they've had a very good win against Liverpool on Monday night in the FA Cup. So I'm going to go Manchester City 1, Wolves 1. Yeah, as I say, we watched Wolves this year. They went to Old Trafford. They should have won there. They came to Arsenal. They should have won there. So, you know, they're not a walk in the park. Wolves mean business. And again, I think if their chairman look at it, and if you could really invest in the squad, if you could just find that little bit extra dosh and get themselves that really good centre back and a really good world class striker, I think Wolves could do some really serious business next season. So we'll see what their chairman does in the summer. So that's my predictions for this weekend, guys. I'm sorry it's a bit long, and I'm sorry that I do sound like shit. I feel like shit. And I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching, guys.